Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to this old house in Los Angeles, where we're expanding and renovating a 1933 Spanish Revival home in the neighborhood of Silver Lake. And we're saving a lot of the house's original detail, right down to its Spanish clay roof tiles. And work gets underway on our brand new project right here on this old house. Oh, Norm, I could get used to this. A house project in sunny California. This is all right.
Kevin, we love it here in California. This is not the first time we've been here. We've done 4 projects, 1 in Napa, 1 in San Francisco, and 2 in Santa Barbara.
But we have never done one right here in Los Angeles, and this place has got everything.
Well, Los Angeles is the 2nd largest city in the country, and we are at the world-famous Venice Beach. Palm trees, people soaking up the sun, surfers.
And don't forget the boardwalk and all it has to offer. We got vendors, we got kiosks, skateboarders, tourists, bicycles. I mean, this place is a scene.
It is a scene. So any visit to LA deserves a stop right here.
Hey, we got more to see, right?
Yep.
Let's go. Hey, you got your board?
Hey, wait for me.
Come on. Come on.
Kevin, your skateboard isn't going to do you much good here in LA.
You're just jealous, dude.
It's all about driving, traffic, and cars up here.
Yeah, well, there are a few highways that crisscross Los Angeles. I mean, there's almost 500 square miles large, so you do have to drive to get around.
Well, if you want to see some of the fancy cars, you come up here to Beverly Hills.
You know, technically, Beverly Hills is its own city, not a part of the city of Los Angeles, but it is that sort of iconic image, right, that people have. I mean, look at these towering palm trees lining the streets and these houses, some of the biggest and most expensive homes in the country.
Kevin, this is Hollywood Boulevard, and this is where you might see some stars.
Wow, some sidewalk stars at least.
Well, there are plenty of those. But when the red carpet is rolled out for the award ceremonies like the Oscars, the stars are right here in this neighborhood. And across the street, there are studios where you can go see a late-night TV show live. And there are tour buses that'll take you all over Hollywood.
Hey, why not, right? It's the entertainment capital of the world. Well, hey, if we're in Hollywood, that means we're only a couple miles from the neighborhood we're working in. What do you say we check it out?
Let's go.
So this is our neighborhood here, Norm, all these houses tucked up in the hills, and it's called Silver Lake.
Named after this reservoir. Residents love it because there's a walking path that goes all the way around it.
It's a neighborhood that's known for mid-century modern and Spanish-style homes, and people love living here because it's got a great scene. Coffee shops, restaurants, lots of music, and it's all really close.
Right, and our house is just across the lake, up in the hills.
So finally, here it is, our house. Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
And our home.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Well, thank you. We're thrilled to be here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
With one little girl already and another baby on the way.
Expanding on all horizons.
Tucked into this sought-after LA neighborhood, they found this gem.
I love your house. I mean, the clay tile roof, sort of a Spanish style.
Exactly. It was built in 1933. We've owned it for about 12 years. And all of the details is what drew us to the house.
It has all the signature features of a Spanish Revival. Clay roof tiles, graceful arches, and other period details throughout.
Look at this fireplace in the corner. Nice curved fireplace, has a little niche. Sort of reminds me of the fireplaces in Santa Fe, the Kivas.
We love the detail in the tile and these kind of colors we want to pick up in the kitchen and maybe some stair risers somewhere.
It functions?
It does.
No strangers to California living or do-it-yourself remodels. They've already done some upgrades.
Right here, originally we had a window, but we didn't have any access to the outside, so Kurt and his dad
Yeah, we wanted
could
that
take care
outdoor
of it.
living that you have in California, so we built a deck and put in French doors right here.
And you say we, you and your dad did the
Me
work?
and my dad.
Hey,
Exactly.
Norm, we got handy homeowners, right?
Right.
That is a nice
That's
feature.
great.
But with their expanding family, they are finally ready to remodel, add on, and make some major changes.
So over here we have the kitchen, which is literally looks like it did back in 1933. It's got the period tile work that goes up to the ceiling and some of the nice detail work on the cabinets, but unfortunately the counters are really small, and so we are left with using cutting boards to make up for the space.
I hope you don't mind me peeking through your cabinets,
Oh,
but I'm
please.
trying to figure out what this is or was. I mean, I see what you're using it for now, but
It was originally a California cooler, which was a way of cooling perishables, and it was converted with this little refrigerator when refrigeration came into.
so what was the idea? That the air would flow through, I guess the cool air from the basement would...
That's correct.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I've never seen one of those.
Interesting.
All right, but so if this... Well, now hang on a second. Where is your refrigerator, your real refrigerator?
We've
Well-
got all the appliances in one room right here. When I first moved in, there was 2 sinks right here, 2 cast iron sinks that I lugged out into the side yard, and now we've got washer, dryer, dishwasher, and fridge. All in one place.
So you've got some big changes for the kitchen,
Exactly,
right?
yes.
This just gets completely redone.
All becomes one big, beautiful kitchen.
So far we've seen just the public space.
That's right. So the private space is back here. We have 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and the bathroom is in here. It's more period work for you. We've got the original sink, the original tub, and the original toilet.
Original is the word. Look at these colors.
Great curved shower. It kind of ties in with the curved fireplace. Unfortunately, it leaks, so we had to do a makeshift shower here that I jury-rigged. And it was going to be so much money to fix this shower that we didn't want to spend the money on because we knew we were going to remodel at some point.
Okay, so that's on the list, and get a new bathroom out of it.
Yes, and over here we have 1 small bedroom, which we use for our daughter, which also has the same kind of period plaster work and tray ceilings and detail work around the light fixture on the ceiling.
So that's one of 2 bedrooms, and actually all of the living space is just on the 1 floor.
That's correct. That's correct. And so this is our master bedroom, which is actually a really good size.
Yeah, this is
So
a big
we
bedroom.
were lucky.
Oh, this is an interesting detail.
Yes, our builders refer to it as cake decorating detail.
And then some access, at least visually, to the backyard and the lake. That's great.
That's
This is
right.
really unusual for a neighborhood to have a flat backyard like this. So this is a feature we really want to take advantage of in the remodel.
Ah, now here's a little slice of that California living.
Exactly. We come off the deck into the backyard. We had to put a fence up to separate us from the neighbors, give ourselves a little privacy.
Did you do that?
Yeah, my dad and I built it when we did the deck.
Yeah, we did a lot of work back here. When we first came here, this entire yard was a jungle. So we ripped it all up, planted the grass, planted all these beds over here also.
You know, I'm really surprised in such a hilly neighborhood that you have so much of a flat area back here.
Yeah, it's really unusual, actually.
It's something we really want to take advantage of because now nothing from the house opens onto the yard except for the deck. So that's part of the plan for the remodel.
Yeah, so the big plan is you're actually going to connect the house to the backyard. You're going to go up a story, add 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and then remodel that kitchen, right?
Exactly.
And to do that for you, you guys have already picked a builder.
Yeah, we found a local guy.
Exactly. He was working on a house in our neighborhood, had restored it, it had actually burned, and we looked at his website, and it was perfect for us. Does historic restorations.
Well, it sounds like it's time to meet him.
Time to check them out.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're in the Hollywood Hills, about 2 miles as the crow flies from our project house, and it's beautiful up here. In fact, a lot of the stars live up here with reason. They have privacy and fantastic views. But it's a challenge for builders. I mean, look at this narrow street, and there are a lot of steep hills. With one side of the street filled with cars, I can't even imagine where you would put a dumpster, let alone bring a concrete truck up here. And that's just the beginning. So let's meet our contractor, Steve Pallrand, and see how he meets with these challenges.
Hey, Norm.
Steve.
Welcome to beautiful and sunny Los
Wow,
Angeles.
It is beautiful up here,
Yeah,
I
isn't
gotta
it
tell you.
great?
So what kind of project you got going on here,
We got an extensive remodel of a single-family home.
right? And what style is this?
This is what we call storybook style, and it's got the peaked, high-pitched roof, and then the stucco kind of brings in the English Tudor, Elizabethan Revival elements.
So it seems like a nice, wide, single-story home.
Oh, this house is so deceiving. It looks like a single-story home, but it's actually 5 stories.
5 stories? Where are you hiding them?
They are hanging off the hillside.
Wow, let's take a look. Wow, Steve, I mean, from the street side, you would never imagine how enormous this house is.
Yes,
It's huge.
the house really towers. I mean, when you include the foundation and the roof attic level, it's really 6 stories.
And what's the scope of this job?
Well, we're doing a full remodel, as I was saying. We're completely redoing the kitchen. We're adding 2 bathrooms. We're redoing the other 2 bathrooms and reskinning the whole house, insulating it, just upgrading it in general. But you know, the interesting thing about when you remodel in California, because of our seismic and our earthquake codes, we have to, there's a large hidden cost. We have to upgrade the building for earthquakes.
And how much does that cost?
A project like this, 20–25%. And you know, people don't, when they're planning a project and they're planning a kitchen remodel or something like that, they don't take that cost into account. They think that all their money is going to go into the finishes. But really, out here, we have to upgrade for the seismic.
A lot of money, but it's necessary.
It is necessary.
Well, Steve, you certainly couldn't get this job done without a good scaffolding system like this one.
No, it's absolutely essential, and it's a lot safer, too.
It sure is.
You know.
Now, we hear about the earthquakes, and lately we've been hearing a lot about canyon fires. Is that a serious issue up here?
That's a big problem. We're in a severe fire hazard zone here, and what happens is, you know, the fires start at the bottom of the hillside, and they just sweep up the hill. So it's a real problem here.
So you come right through this canyon?
Actually, what happens is we have 2 things. One is fires can sweep up a hill, and the other thing is we have strong winds at certain times of year, up to 40 to 70 miles an hour, and those will sweep down the canyon here.
Wow. So what do you do to the building to protect it from that?
Well, the wind is taken care of in the seismic, the earthquake, that's all sort of taken care of the same part of the code. But for fire, we also have to have a fire-rated wall.
Okay.
And we do that with drywall on the inside and also, in this case, stucco on the outside.
Okay.
But also it's the windows. You know, you want to make sure in a hot fire, the glass cracks. So the important thing is to have glazing glass that lasts for long enough for the occupants to get out and to keep the fire from getting inside.
All right, I get that. But, you know, why would you want to live up here? Earthquakes, fires, I mean, you got it all.
I mean, look at the views. I mean, come on, you know?
Well,
this is what it's all about.
I can't argue with that.
So I wanted to bring you into the basement here so you could see some of the work we had to do, some of the upgrades. This is the original poured-in-place retaining wall. It's 18 inches thick and about 16 feet high at this point.
Wow, so this is holding back the hillside.
Exactly, that's what it does. Yeah, so what happened is this is all new construction back here. The original house at this point was 2 stories out here, and the problem we had is that in an earthquake, this part of the house could start shaking and actually rip away from the hillside and fall down the canyon. So the work we had to do was make these attachment points back to the retaining wall.
So I see a big heavy ledger board right there.
Exactly. So the first thing we did is we drill into this retaining wall, we epoxy these bolts in, and then we put the ledger board here.
Okay, and you have a double joist right here.
Right, and those are hold downs, and again, those are epoxied into the retaining wall.
All right, I'm familiar with the hangers, but I don't think I've seen those. So that has a rod that's epoxied into the wall.
That gives you a stronger connection to the retaining wall than a normal hanger would.
Right, so you crank it down, there's no way that's going to come apart.
Right, exactly. Then these beams go across, and they attach the mass of the building out here back to the hillside.
Right, now what are these? I don't think I've seen these before. They look like a prefabricated structural element.
Exactly, these are pre-manufactured shear panels, and they're directly underneath a steel collector beam.
That's a term I'm not familiar with. What's a collector beam?
Well, a collector beam just basically collects all the shear energy during an event and transfers it back to the hillside. It keeps the whole house connected.
And what do these do?
These, in California we don't are just concerned with gravity. We're concerned with the lateral movement in a shear, in a earthquake or something like that. So these add lateral rigidity to that beam, so that beam doesn't rip out from the wall. It's supported underneath and has more lateral rigidity, and it goes down into the footing down below.
So it's bolted to the beam and it's bolted to this footing.
Exactly. We had to pour a new footing for that to stabilize it.
There's a lot to the seismic retrofit.
There is.
How much of this are we going to have to do at our house?
We're going to have to do a bunch.
Oh boy.
Welcome to California.
Running the project for Steve is Angel Leon. He is the job site superintendent. Angel, good to see you.
How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing all right. So you've got guys crawling all over this job site. You're really underway.
Yeah, actually we are. We got the roofer here, getting ready to get started, and he's going to be removing the tiles from the top and for salvage purposes.
So we'll reuse those tiles at some point?
Yes, we will.
All right.
And then inside here, Kevin, what we got going on is we're replicating the same thing, doing the deconstruction and salvaging, but right now we're doing floor protection in here, as you can see.
So you're laying down with some sort of a cardboard?
Actually, we've got a paper product underneath there, And then we put the cardboard over the top just to give it a double protection.
2 layers. I like to hear it because we're saving all these floors out front, right?
Actually, we're going to be saving part of the floors. The stuff out here in the front where we just walked over, we are saving. And this stuff will just be for protection and to keep, in case we ruin any of the floor, we have a little bit extra for that.
All right.
And back in here, Kevin, we've got Emerson doing some deconstruction, salvaging material. Actually, he's taking off the door trims and the floor base.
So there was some hope on the part of our homeowners that this trim would have been mahogany. Is that playing out at all?
Actually, the door trim has turned out to be Douglas fir, as you can see from the grains here. And the floor base has turned out to be mahogany.
Yeah, all right. So mahogany is nice
So,
and Doug fir is not so bad either.
50-50, we got a little lucky there.
Everything's labeled because you guys are going to reuse this.
Actually, we're going to reuse it. Either will you reuse it here or will you reuse it on another project?
All right. And what about this cabinet? Is this going to go to another project or can we save it for the house?
We're going to keep this cabinet. The homeowners want to recreate this cabinet situation in a different location of the house. Some of this stuff we take down so that we can reuse, and then some of the stuff, as you see back here in the room, we have to replicate.
Oh, so this is that plaster detail, right?
Yes, that cake mix detail.
Hi, Kevin.
Kevin, we have Joe Luttrell right here.
Nice
He's our project manager.
So what are you working on right here?
Right now, what we're doing is we recognize that this was all canvas, and in order to have our plasterer replicate this, I can actually cut this off and save this detail on the corner.
Hang on a second. What do you mean canvas? I thought we were talking plaster on plaster here.
Well, back around 1920, on a higher-end home, they started to use canvas to prevent the cracking in the finish of the plaster.
So old plaster over the years when the house moves and settles, or in this case, earthquakes.
Right, correct.
You got to repair it all the time.
Right, this will keep the cracks from radiating through the plaster.
So you can just cut that corner away.
I can certainly do that.
Let's see that.
The canvas is very thin. So as I come down, I'm hitting the plaster and come down this line. I'm going to come across.
So the plaster is all underneath. There's not
Correct.
a skim coat on top of this canvas?
Correct. Okay. The only plaster that's on top is actually the detail. So now that we've cut it, I'm coming back. I start to get the underneath the canvas, and there's the plaster.
Oh, okay.
All
Plaster
right,
there.
plaster and the canvas.
Which is actually coming off fairly easily.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It just the house has not been touched pretty much.
So once you get this off, what are you going to do with this here?
We're going to take it back to the office. We're going to have our plasterer start to practice.
Really?
Yes.
It's all handwork, so you
It's
just
all
gotta-
handwork. It's called cake decoration.
And is that seriously what they call it? Because
Yes.
it comes from that pastry
Yes.
bag? Wow.
Yes.
All right. Well, we know the homeowners love these details, so we're happy that they can come back into the house. Thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome, Kevin.
Kevin, as you see, we've got a one-story house here, and as we walk to the back, we've got a 17-foot elevation change from the front to the back of the property here. As you see, we've got a basement here that's about 8 foot off of the ground, where the first floor starts up here on the top.
So it looks pretty tall back here, but it's still just that one-story house, and we're actually going to add a story to it.
Absolutely.
So if you look at the plans, here's that existing crawl space and the first floor.
This is your first floor. We're going to be tearing off the roof, which is the existing roof is in this area right here. We're going to be taking that roof off and adding this second floor addition up here on the top.
And you got your guys up there working already, right?
Yeah, the roofers are up there right now.
Over the years, the facilities for our contractors have been a number of different places, but I gotta admit, this is a first. Now, they're a design-build firm, which means they have a fully staffed office and a full staff of craftsmen that work out in the field, like on our project. Now, let's check in with Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Norm, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, you're still keeping the name of the church up there?
We're keeping the name of the church because it's a felony to tag a church or graffiti a church in Los Angeles.
So if you put your name up there, they'd graffiti the building.
Exactly.
Huh, good idea. Oh, what's this? Is this out of the old church?
This is all the old church. It's the old votive candle stand. And we light one whenever we're bidding.
That must help a lot.
It does help from time to time.
All right. And wow, back here you've got piles covered with tarps. What is this all about?
This is all houses that we have meticulously taken apart, stacked, and cleaned so that we can reuse them on different projects.
Oh, great. Let's see what you got. Look at these
Aren't they
tarps.
gorgeous?
Boy, these
Look
are
at those.
beautiful.
These were left over from a job. Color did not match. We're going to take it. We'll offer it to one of our other clients to on their patio.
So you'll find a place for it.
We generally do.
So instead of demoing it, you're very carefully taking these buildings apart and you're sorting them by style, so it's easier to
Exactly.
find the pieces you want when you're working on a job.
Correct. Back here we have some plumbing fixtures.
All right. Oh, look at that, the old green plumbing fixtures. Well, you know, they say if you hold on to stuff long enough, it comes back into style.
Well, Norm, you're very true because this is going to go back into one of our projects.
Is that right? So more piles of lumber back here.
We like to save it, repurpose it, reuse it in houses. It's gold. Back here you can see that this is truly our gold. This is
So this is roof sheathing?
This is old roof sheathing, eave sheathing. You can see how the paint was still on the eaves.
Right.
And what we'll do is we'll take this and make hardwood floors out
No,
of it.
I mean, look at the quality of
Isn't that
that
great?
fur. You can't buy this today.
No, you can't.
Wow, well, it's great to see that you guys appreciate the value of all this material.
There's a tremendous amount of value in this, and to reuse it is also makes us feel well.
We're gonna get some of this in our house?
You certainly are.
That'll be great. Okay, okay.
This roof right here stays because we're not actually doing much to the front of the house. But back here, because of that second story addition, this roof has to come off. It's coming off, but it's not going away because, John, you guys have been referring to this stuff like it is gold.
That's pretty much the case, Kevin. This is a two-pan Spanish clay. Tile like this was made in Mexico earlier on. And what they did was they would take a wet piece of clay, place it on their thigh, take the larger portion, the narrow portion. What you come up with is your larger radius and your narrow radius.
Seriously?
Seriously, put it out in the sun for a couple, 2-3 weeks, you got yourself a brand new roof.
Well, that is plenty reason to save this stuff. And you've got some guys over here harvesting it. Tell me about what's going on. And what'd you call it, two-pan?
This is a Spanish two-pan clay.
Right.
Marcos is taking the tile off and storing it so we can use it later.
Right.
And what you've got is you've got a concave, and then you've got a convex piece of tile. If you put your two pans here, you put the one over the top, that's your two pan.
Right.
Then your next tile would go over the top of that, and you've got your overlap, and then you just put your side panels on.
And do you end up with a waterproof roof?
Yes, you do. Actually, in the old days, they used this with no underlayments whatsoever. The water would shed down over the top. As you can see, water comes down into the pans.
Right.
The pans funnel it right off the roof. So it's very good quality, water control.
Okay, but it looks like in this day and age, if something this dark is going to get really hot. It's going to pick up a lot of that solar energy.
Oh, it will. It will. But what it has been designed to do, and they used this a lot in the early days in Mexico in the Southwest, is because it's got this large airspace underneath it.
Yep.
It's a natural cooling.
Ah, so all that hot air can just flow underneath these.
Exactly right, and helps keep the house a little bit cooler.
So this is still a really good roofing material.
This is an excellent roofing material. This is a lifetime product.
Yep.
And they're now coming out with underlayments that also are a lifetime. So it's a really good marriage between the two.
All right,
Gives you
well-
a very good looking roof for a very long period of time.
We are going to definitely come back up here on this roof and see you install this. We're going to learn a lot more about it, but we do appreciate you saving it for us.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
All right, thank you. Well, we are off and running here on our new project in sunny Los Angeles. So we got a lot more coming at you. And until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor for This Old House.